Hey everybody, how is it going today? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I want to talk about CleanSpark. CleanSpark looks like it's finally breaking out of this downtrend, breaking through this consolidation, and it looks like it could be starting a pretty decent uptrend. So I want to get into their chart, and then I want to talk about those other Bitcoin related stocks because a couple of them are hitting buy zones as well. Now, if you're new to my channel, I have been trading and investing for over 20 years, and in each video I will show you trades that I see setting up right now. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future trading and investing ideas. And also, if you would like to support the channel and become part of our Patreon community and see what we are buying and selling in real time for a measly $10 a month, that link is in the description. All right, so let's get into this CleanSpark technical analysis update. Right here I have the daily chart, and we can see that CleanSpark is finally starting to bounce off this green support area that I have drawn on the chart. I've had this on the chart for quite a while. This is when I made one of my bigger purchases, was back in the middle of May on CleanSpark. I didn't think it was going to be revisiting this support area, but that happens sometimes. But I've been buying a little bit more since it's been down here under $13 a share. We can see it's finally getting a nice bounce up today. It is lagging all of the other Bitcoin mining stocks for some reason. I don't know why, but today it is finally starting to pick up some steam. It's up about 11.5% as I'm making this video, and there are some very positive things happening on the chart right now. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see that right now with this move up, it's almost at double the average daily volume for shares traded. So that is a very bullish sign. Unfortunately, we do have that 50-period simple moving average just above price, and those are always difficult to get through, especially on the first pop. You really usually need a ton of buying pressure when you are well below that moving average to go blasting through it in one day. But the fact that it's been carving out this nice bottom lets me know that it probably has a pretty good shot of breaking through this moving average this time and heading up towards this yellow line, this 200-period simple moving average, and that would be a pretty good move from here. And if we go to the 15-minute chart and take a little bit of a closer look at what's been going on lately, I can actually probably get rid of this box by now. But we can see that this stock has been in a pretty steep downtrend for quite a while. Let me see if I can back it out a little bit more here. But it has been making one of these triangle consolidations, and it's finally breaking through it to the upside. It's breaking through on a very big way on good volume. So that tells you that it probably has a little bit more staying power than the average breakout. So I am pretty optimistic on this breakout on CleanSpark. And man, with Bitcoin rallying like it is, I think Bitcoin was up over $45,000 today, and Ethereum is up over 3,100. So it seems like all the coins are having a pretty decent day. So that should just bleed into CleanSpark. I think CleanSpark is a sneaky good way to be playing this Bitcoin rally. For whatever reason, CleanSpark has been left in the dark compared to some of the other ones, and I think once earnings start coming out, especially if Bitcoin continues to rise and goes back up over 50,000, I think CleanSpark's going to deliver some fantastic numbers. So pretty happy with my position that I have in CleanSpark right now, but after it's making this breakout out of this triangle consolidation, I think this bottom might finally be in on CleanSpark, and this thing could be off to the races now. All right, sticking with the Bitcoin-related theme, the next one I want to talk about is Marathon Digital Holdings, ticker symbol MARA. I talked about this one a couple of videos ago when it was hanging around this little consolidation right here. I bought some once it broke through at $30.74, but I unloaded some into the market at $37.44 today. Went a little bit beyond that price, but then started to pull back. I actually expected more of a pullback from MARA once it got into this resistance area, but it looks like it is hanging tough. It hasn't even filled that gap that it made from before. It's making a little bit of a doji candle, but for the most part, there's still a lot of strength in this stock. And in fact, let's go to the 15-minute chart and take a closer look at the price action. You know, if I back out here, you can see how beautiful this rounded bottom consolidation was. This is when it got my attention, and once it started to break through that, that's when I got interested in, playing this momentum move. And you can see this thing went pretty much straight up into this resistance area before it was stopped in its tracks. But man, this thing has not pulled back very much at all. It hasn't filled that gap or anything. It's just consolidating, holding this gap up. And in fact, it almost looks like it's starting to make a little bit more of a rounded bottom on an even smaller time frame. In fact, let's go to the 5-minute chart real quick. I mean, this thing looks like it could be rounding up. It's going to be interesting to see if it holds this gap up. But if this thing continues to round up and put pressure on this resistance area, I mean, this thing could go blasting through $38 a share pretty easily, because, I mean, this thing isn't selling off at all. So let's go back to the daily chart. If it does end up blasting through this resistance area, it looks like this area right here is probably going to be the next big area of resistance. And let's see what that is. I don't know, call it 43, maybe 43.50-ish, or 43 to 43.50-ish, I would say, is probably going to be the next area of resistance for Marathon Digital. If it does make it up into this area, I'll probably strongly consider liquidating all of the position, because it certainly should be due for a pullback then, especially if it gets up here within the next trading day or two. I think that's going to be a pretty good signal to sell out of the rest of the position and, book those profits and look to re-enter on a pullback if it's still strong. But one of the other Bitcoin stocks that I must talk about, of course, is BTBT. Looking at this chart, I'm just kicking myself for not buying in. Once it made this really big update here and held that move up, it had to sell off the next day, so it was a little tough to call, but then it bounced right back up and consolidated at those higher levels, and this is when I was strongly considering getting into it. And man, of course, looking at the chart in hindsight, I should have, but this thing has just gone straight up like a rocket ship. So if any of you guys are in BTBT, number one, congratulations. Number two, I would probably consider ringing the register pretty darn soon, because this thing is pretty far extended and it's due for a pullback. You could always re-enter it on a pullback if you do want to own this stock a little bit longer. But next one I want to talk about is Riot Blockchain. I talked about this in that same video. I said if the other stocks broke out, Riot Blockchain probably wouldn't be far behind it. And here is Riot Blockchain today, finally breaking above this consolidation. So Riot Blockchain a little bit weaker than the others, but better late than never. I definitely think that these things could end up staying strong for a while, especially if Bitcoin keeps rallying. So Riot Blockchain, the breakout that it's having today, looks absolutely beautiful. And of course, the other one was Coinbase. And you can see Coinbase blasting through that resistance area that I had. And this one looks super good. If this thing can hold this breakout, in fact, maybe just pull back slightly into this support area. It was resistance, but once it gets above it, of course, it is support. So if it can pull back lightly into this support area and then meet up with that 8-period exponential moving average, I think that's going to be a beautiful swing trade setup, or just a great place to enter this stock if you want to own it longer term, because it's pulling right back into support. From a technical perspective, it can't get much better than that for an entry. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is, let's talk about our buddy Palantir. Palantir, haven't really talked about this one too much, but man, this thing is just making an absolutely beautiful pattern. It looks like it might finally be ready to break out of this downtrend and start heading higher. Because if we go to the 15-minute chart on Palantir, back it out, you can definitely see the beautiful triangle consolidation putting pressure on that upper resistance area, and it is blasting through today. So as long as Palantir can hold this 22, I call it 2270, 2280 area, I think Palantir could be off to the races as well, because this one is due for a run. It's been pulling back for several weeks here, and now it looks like it's finally starting to build up some steam. So Palantir, if you can hold it, you can stay above that 2275-ish area. I think this one could be starting another leg up. Okay, everyone, that is all I have for this video, so I'm going to end it right there. But if you have any questions or comments on any of these stocks, or if you have any other ones you want me to take a look at, please leave it down there in the comments section. I will get to them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, and until next time, take care, everybody.